Good morning to my beloveds at UU Fellowship of Santa Cruz County. Hi, it's an honor to share your virtual space this morning. I'm Jolly, and I use pronouns like they and them. I live here in Tongva Chumash land in so-called Los Angeles, and I'm the Climate and Justice Organizer for the UU Justice Ministry of California. My work with UUJMCA includes organizing congregations around justice and taking a pilgrimage with other climate-focused UUs to Line 3 in so-called Minnesota. There, I put my body on the line to support Indigenous actions against the Enbridge Oil Company. Dozens of UUs were arrested there alongside me in the summer of 2021. For that reason, I became a part of the UU Young Adult Divestment Caucus and helped to draft the business resolutions that will be presented at General Assembly this year. We're asking that the Common Endowment Fund for complete divestment from the fossil fuel industry and subsequent reparations. The Unitarian Universalist Association, the UUA, invests in stocks and bonds through the UU Common Endowment Fund, the UUCEF, which includes the endowment funds of the UUA and of many UU congregations and affiliates. The UUCEF seeks to serve congregations by investing in alignment with our UU values and achieving market returns. We're putting our stamp of approval on these investments. However, the current investments of the UUCEF are in direct conflict with our UU values. We're prioritizing profits over people, over justice, and over Earth. The UUCEF has an egregious amount of shares invested in the fossil fuel industry, including fossil fuel extraction, fossil fuel infrastructure like pipelines, fossil fuel finance like dirty banks, fossil fuel energy companies. The value of these shares totals over $13 million. Through these investments, we're complicit together in environmental destruction, in capitalist exploitation, and in violence against the people living at the intersection of multiple systems of oppression, all of which are perpetuated by the fossil fuel industry. That's why we're calling on our faith to do better. So our group of young adults has drafted a business resolution to be voted on at General Assembly in 2023 this June. We're calling upon the UUA through the CEF to divest from the entire fossil fuel industry and redistribute those funds from the UUA's endowment in the form of reparations to Indigenous, Black, and Brown communities. We spent months going over financial reports, attending common endowment meetings, and having conversations with people throughout our communities on the best course of action. And we know that we must have a livable planet and that our religion calls us to act during moments of injustice. So we have to do things the right way. So when we put this together, we worked within a covenant that we would be patient with ourselves and with each other, and that we would hold this process sacred above the product. We must accept the wisdom of those who come before us and then work within a historical context. We must dismantle these systems of oppression and not each other. So I like to say, we must have boundless compassion for people and be ruthless towards systems. As many of you might know, this will not be the first time that our values and principles call upon us to divest from fossil fuels. We took previous resolutions a step further and worked to close the loopholes of shareholder advocacy and form a committee to see to it that reparations are paid to parties injured by our continued profiting from our investments. I'm sorry, I live under a flight path. You have to bear with me. We will also put in requirements to begin the first steps of reparations. And we know that we don't need to have all the answers to begin, but that we should begin to put in the structure to make the future that we want possible. So to get a business resolution to be voted upon at General Assembly, you've got to get at least 250 signatures from at least 25 congregations. And we're really pleased because ahead of schedule, we collected 415 signatures from 42 congregations across all 5 of the regions. The support is really overwhelming and it's heartwarming. And so far we've held a couple of community forums in person and online, and our next worship/open forum is going to be on March 26th. So are you also ready to join us and the Ministry for Earth and the UU Young Adults for Climate Justice? Best thing to do now is to support this resolution at this year's General Assembly as a delegate. If you know someone from a different congregation, talk to them, see if they can be a delegate to vote on it too, because we need people power to make a meaningful change in how we do business at the UUA, and it starts with us. Oh, please take some time to check out UUDivestment.com if you're a numbers person. You can even look at the holdings reports there from every quarter since 2019. I'm not a numbers person, and it's boring me just to talk about it. But there's also a lot more to read there about how we're going to advance reproductive justice with this and other human rights. If you're on Instagram, find us at UUYA Divestment. And I sincerely hope to see you at General Assembly this year in Pittsburgh. Pull me aside and tell me hi. And thank you for your solidarity with Indigenous, Black, and Brown communities, your resistance against the fossil fuel industry, your support of young adults, and your belief in a better future.